The power to move a nation forward takes root in the productivity of business and industries. As your Meralco Corporate Partner, we understand the role power plays in fueling the growth of your business, how it moves, how it brings things to life, how it drives your business, and ultimately, how it plays a role in building a nation. We have evolved from being a power distribution company to a total energy solutions provider.
We value the fact that Meralco has taken a very proactive approach to customer service and given us the ability to provide reliable and sustainable services to our customers, effectively tying our relationship with Meralco to our relationship with our customers.
There is power in partnerships. Partner with us today.
I'm David Saldran. In this edition of Power Ideas, we talk to Kevin Benning, Chief Operating Officer of City of Dreams, Manila, about how the integrated resort has embarked on a campaign towards sustainability. You know, in a city known for having one of the world's most spectacular sunsets, City of Dreams, Manila is the first integrated resort in the country to harness solar energy in equally spectacular fashion. So, hello there, Kevin. You know, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would have loved to see in person, physically, how City of Dreams, Manila was able to transform the rooftops of your parking buildings to generate solar power. But I guess a virtual tour with you would be the best for now, right?
Hi, David. Yes, it is. You know, welcome to the new normal. We're doing our best to make it work, and I cannot wait to take you on a personal tour of our rooftop when we go back to normal.
All right, Kevin, I'm looking forward to that visit. In the meantime, let's talk about how City of Dreams, Manila has made a conscious decision to reduce its carbon footprint, with solar power being one of those initiatives. You currently have, I understand, 3,120 solar panels installed in the rooftops of 2 parking buildings, right? Now, that's the record for the largest installation in Metro Manila. The amount of power produced by these solar panels is enough to light up 12,000 homes for a year, with an average monthly bill of 1,500 pesos.
That is correct. The City of Dreams Manila is extremely proud to be the first integrated resort in the country to harness solar energy. Now, this project, we invested 76 million pesos, 1.2 megawatts of solar power into this property, maximizing our car park, as we mentioned. It's an extremely important step for us to achieve our goal for carbon neutrality and becoming a zero waste resort. You know, having a clean, renewable source of energy with no waste or emissions is just the right thing to do in our world moving forward.
That sounds really fantastic, Kevin. Congratulations. But I want to know, what are we looking at in terms of savings in power costs?
Oh, we're looking at about 16 million pesos of energy savings per year. That equals about 20% of our hotel power consumption across our 940 rooms. But more than savings, we're looking at the larger picture. As an environmentally responsible business, we must do our share in the global movement to combat climate change, and we want to make a difference and fulfill our social responsibility.
Why did you choose Meralco subsidiary, Spectrum, as your partner?
I was asked this question quite a few times in December when we launched this program and implemented our solar panels. And the answer is very simple. Spectrum provides the best solutions, services, and capabilities in the Philippines in regards to solar and energy saving solutions. You know, on top of that, with Spectrum being a subsidiary of Meralco, who is somebody we've worked extremely closely with since we started City of Dreams, we have a great level of trust in the long-term vision of Spectrum. And something I continue to share with everyone is the speed and efficiency of which this project came together. Now, it was only 4 months from start to finish when we partnered with Spectrum in July of 2019 to launch this fully in December of 2019. I've been working here for 5 years, and I've yet to see a project come together as quickly and as well as this one did.
I also understand, Kevin, there are other initiatives within your resort complex which are geared towards self-sufficiency, correct? All of which fall under your Sustainable Dreams program. So tell me more about this program of yours.
As part of our overall sustainability strategy for Meralco Resorts and Entertainment across all of our properties in Asia and Europe, we launched here in Manila the Sustainable Dreams program in 2018. And that's really focused on long-term sustainability initiatives across multiple channels.
Wow, that's an amazing list of programs. And the best thing about it is, these are all long-term programs with long-term effects. So whether there's a pandemic or not, Kevin, like those solar panels of yours, for example, they'll continue to generate power, whether there's a pandemic or not. As they say in your industry, the house always wins. But at City of Dreams Manila, looks like the environment wins as well.
That's absolutely true, David. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much as well, Kevin Benning, COO of City of Dreams Manila. Stay safe, Kevin.
You as well.
This is David Saldran for Power Ideas by Meralco.
Understands that reliable and dependable energy is necessary to sustain and grow a business. Businesses that power a nation. Power Ideas by Meralco. Brought to you by the Meralco Corporate Partners. San Beda College is a private Roman Catholic college with a satellite campus in Alabang, Muntinlupa. It is a sprawling 9.6-hectare campus with a student population of 7,000 from preschool to postgraduate levels. This campus, which first opened its doors in 1972, has gone through major changes through the years. In July 2013, the leadership of San Beda College Alabang decided to implement an energy efficiency campaign throughout its campus.
My vision in terms of energy consumption is for San Beda to be a front runner in being an energy efficient school. Now, this can only be done through a close and continuous monitoring and improvement of the power utilization in the school.
Our school, San Beda College, in the south, we noticed that it increased its population. And the volume of our students coincides with our energy consumption. So we have to take a measure in order to conserve energy and our consumption of electricity in order to save. And our savings will go back to the school because we use it to buy or upgrade our facilities.
After San Beda reached out to Meralco, Relationship Manager Patrick Panlilio set up a meeting with San Beda to discuss how to improve the utilization of electricity in the campus.
Pagtawag sa team ng Meralco sa aming school ay dagli nga sila nag-conduct ng energy efficiency audit sa aming paaralan. At pagkatapos nga nito ay nilibot namin yung mga classrooms, mga offices.
Together with the school's technical personnel, a thorough walkthrough of the electrical facilities of the school was conducted by the engineers of Meralco. Energy Solutions engineer Boyam Calderon and his team came up with a detailed recommendation on how to more effectively manage the school's power.
Dinala na yung kopya dito sa San Beda at pinakita nga sa amin ang mga naging problema na nakita nila. So karamihan nga sa gamit namin mga equipment, sa mga naiiwang bukas na bintana, at nakita din nila yung mga luma naming aircon na pilit pa rin namin pinagagana maski pwede nang i-junk.
Besides the gradual replacement of conventional to inverter-type air conditioners, Meralco's recommendations also included replacing lighting with LED lights that not only consume less power, but provide more effective lighting. The use of blinds and window tinting were also practical solutions to keep out the heat and optimize air conditioning. Suggestions like keeping a steady thermostat were practical solutions that did not require any investment.
After a year, when we implemented the recommendation of Meralco, not only I am surprised, but we are all very happy because we saw the drastic difference and the lowering of our electrical consumption. So we saved a lot. I think we succeeded in being efficient in utilizing our facilities, especially our energy consumption.
The proper implementation in San Beda's grade school buildings were replicated in the high school and college facilities. Meralco now does regular preventive maintenance checkups for the school's electrical facilities. These consolidated efforts have brought down energy consumption by 70,000 kilowatt hours for academic year 2014 to 2015. The program also brought about substantial savings for the campus. Despite the increase in the number of enrollees, the EII, or Energy Intensity Index, decreased.
Meralco helped us, assisted us in controlling and managing our tuition fees and expenses. Our quality education doesn't come with a regular increase of the fee or high price. And more importantly, our students will also inculcate the values of energy management so they can help not only in the society and our school, but also they can apply it at their home and help their parents save from their expenses.
We are happy to be of service to a learning institution like San Beda College, Alabang, as it provides quality education for a brighter future for the growth of our nation. It's our privilege to assist and contribute in every way to further knowledge and education. Ako po si Patrick Panlilio at ito po ang aking team ng energy experts, handa pong tumulong sa inyo.
Power Ideas by Meralco. For end-to-end energy solutions, contact your Meralco Corporate Partners. Talk to us today.
What do you do when your city is a beautiful, vibrant tourist destination during the day? Only to come to a standstill at night. The importance of a well-lit city is something the local government understands.
Well-lighted streets are a hallmark of good governance. Street lighting is a basic function of a city to lengthen the social economic activities of the people, enhance the quality of life, and improve the safety of road users. With these benefits, the city administration decided to go into massive street lighting.
In today's modern world, the main challenge for every developing city is to strike a balance between respecting its natural environment and prioritizing public welfare. A daunting task, to be sure, but not an impossible one. The long-term solution, as the city of Puerto Princesa has found, needs to be a smart one. Among the first in the Philippines, the city of Puerto Princesa is investing in a smart street light system where street lamps along major and side roads will not only shine brighter with LED luminaires, they will also be equipped with the latest in smart technology. Being the first of its kind, the street lighting project of this nature and scale, the project wasn't without its share of problems. One of the first hurdles was finding the right supplier.
We have to undertake a procurement process at ang nangyari, iba't ibang suppliers ang nanalo. So, iba't ibang itsura ng poste, iba't ibang wattage, iba't ibang itsura ng mga bulbs. At pagdating ng panahon, mahirap nang hanapin yung mga unang nag-supply. We tried to find a reputable contractor, and that's how we met MServe.
In partnership with Meralco's subsidiary, MServe, the city started phase 1 of the smart lighting project in early 2019 in 2 pilot areas. Barangays San Pedro and San Manuel, with their combined 8,587 households, are like most other barangays in the city. By nightfall, life screeches to a halt from lack of proper lighting on its streets. With just 700 smart street lamps installed during Phase 1, residents have already seen and felt the benefits of the smart lights. The new LED luminaires outshine the previous street lamps along the National Highway in more ways than one. The city's engineers have also appreciated the advantages of the smart platform that connects all the streetlights to a single dashboard. The secure app allows for complete control of the smart street lighting system in real time.
Madali na namin makita ang day-to-day lighting consumption ng city. Madali na rin namin ma-identify ang errors, outages, at trouble areas.
The beauty of the smart lighting infrastructure is that it enables them to exponentially grow by having the capability to explore other smart solutions and revenue streams to help reinvigorate tourism and boost the nighttime economy. In other words, Puerto Princesa is poised to become one of the country's first ever smart cities. And it all started with a smart partnership.
We know that if we light up the entire city population, the city will be more vibrant, we'll be able to invite more investors, and with more investors, more jobs and more livelihood opportunities will be available for the people.
For end-to-end energy solutions, contact your M-Serve key account group.
The island of Cagbalete is a beautiful tourist destination. It is one of the many islands we are proud to show the rest of the world. Unfortunately, for the longest time, the island of Cagbalete is powered by noisy, expensive, and smoke-emitting gas generators. While the residents had to rely on kerosene lamps for light at night. Today, many parts of the Philippines, especially provinces, just don't get enough electricity. How can we change all this? With Meralco's recent initiative, Cagbalete uses a microgrid that combines solar panels and battery technology to allow it to start its energy transition towards renewable energy.
Malaking tulong kasi nung unang panahon, 1980s, mga gasira lang ginagamit na yun. Tapos delikado, siyempre may posibilidad na masulong ang bahay.
Maginhawa na. Liwanag na, hindi katulad ng una. Maski kwan, papatay-patay pa yung generator na yan, may pagdidilim pa.
We plan also to bring these microgrid solutions outside of our franchise area so that we can also help the DOE and the government in providing electrification to other parts of the country.
We are committed to developing large-scale, utility-scale renewable projects that are reliable, dependable, environment-friendly, and at competitive prices without any subsidy. We're looking to generate 1,000 to 1,200 megawatts within the next 5 to 7 years from renewable energy. This could be in wind, solar, hydro. And this is our commitment to the energy transition program. We believe that the time for renewable energy is now.
Just like Meralco, Liter of Light partners with the community to help with their energy transition. We teach residents how to make their own solar lamps. So instead of selling kerosene lamps like they used to, they can sell these. The goal is to create a self-sustaining cycle. The more solar lamps they can sell, the more that they continue to make, providing income for them and more solar lights for all. Hopefully, with more projects like these, we can help the rest of the country make the energy transition. It won't happen overnight, but together we can make it happen sooner.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Meralco Power Up Live webinar on energy efficiency and conservation law for corporate customers. My name is Catherine, Meralco Relationship Manager, handling customers from Consumer Products team. Before anything else, on behalf of Meralco, we would like to thank you for your patience and understanding these past months. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted us in ways most of us did not expect, and we thank you for working with us as we face this new normal. As you may have seen in our invitation, this webinar will focus on the requirements of designated establishments as specified under the Memorandum Circular 2020-05001. This webinar is a good opportunity for you, our customers, who are mostly Type 1 and Type 2 designated establishments, to know about the milestones for compliance in terms of designating energy conservation officers or energy managers in your own companies, accomplishing the Energy Utilization Reports, as well as submitting these documents through the Department of Energy's online portal in time for the April 15, 2021 deadline. Now, before we get to the main event, why don't we look back at what happened last year? Meralco also organized a forum when an energy efficiency conservation law was newly enacted, and we also invited speakers to share its salient points with our corporate customers. Please watch this video.
Our CBG customers are the top customers of Meralco, so they are our biggest consumers. The most benefit from energy efficiency will also come from the big ones. So we want them to be the first to be able to save and to benefit from this law and to comply, of course, because there are benefits and, of course, penalties for this.
For medium and large consumers, usually commercial, industrial, and government, those who consume at least 500,000 kilowatt hours, you now have obligations under the law. So you will now have mandatory energy audit every 3 years. You will now have to employ a certified energy conservation officer or certified energy manager. You now have to submit your energy consumption report to DOE every April 15th, both electricity and non-electricity. Energy efficiency will happen much faster now because DOE has enough teeth to push all energy users to participate in the long-term goal of reducing what we call energy intensity or making the whole economy energy efficient. That's the goal.
We have to follow what is written in the law, and we are very law-abiding corporate citizen.
As early as now, we can prepare to be ready for the compliance and to enjoy benefits of complying to this new law.
I'd like to thank and commend Meralco for keeping its customers abreast with new developments in the energy industry.
We will be waiting for the implementing rules and regulation so that we could start on working on the requirements of this law, because we really need to comply so that we would not be penalized.
So what we're saying is, if right now in Luzon, we're consuming something like 14 megawatt, just multiply it by simply 50%. So we have an available power again, virtual power, 7,000 megawatt. So that's how we look at this bill.
Actually, it is a technology-driven program
meaning that changing our conventional lighting technology to a new one like fluorescent lamp, changing it into a linear LED lamps. In the case of buildings like this, 60 to 7% of their consumption, it's more on the cooling system. So opportunities can be looked at on this cooling system.
It opens a great opportunity for the DOE and for the national government to take the lead and use this law and address the issues of climate change.
So right now, we already have our plans and programs for energy conservation, but it enhanced my knowledge further on how to improve the ways we do it in our company.
If we are going to implement this rigorously, it will redound to the benefits of the community and also to the company.
It is exciting for me to know that the role of the Certified Energy Manager has been institutionalized in the new Act. And it excites me to know that the government is doing its efforts to conserve energy and our resources.
Environment is very important to us. We need to preserve it for the next generation. Without it, basically, what's the use of going into business if we cannot sustain that business for our people?
Throughout this webinar, feel free to type your questions or comments to our speakers and panelists by clicking on the Ask a Question button found below. We encourage you to identify yourself so we can acknowledge you properly. We will do our best to pose all your questions during the Q&A segment later on this program. And now, to formally start this webinar, let us hear from Meralco Vice President and Head of Corporate Business Group, Ms. Maria Cecilia Domingo.
Thank you, Ren. A pleasant good morning to our valued customers and business partners. Our esteemed guest speaker from the Department of Energy, Director of the Energy Utilization Management Bureau, Attorney Patrick T. Aquino, and colleagues from Meralco. Thank you for joining us today at Meralco's Power Up Live webinar on the refresher of the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law for corporate customers. I hope that you and your family are safe in the face of this pandemic and past typhoons. We will all remember 2020 as a year of unprecedented changes. It has been 8 months since the lockdown started, and the end is nowhere in sight. On a macro level, the economic landscape has definitely changed, but we are optimistic that the Philippine economy will continue to peak and recover this post-pandemic. As many of us grapple with the COVID-19 crisis, energy efficiency can improve the economic competitiveness of countries and businesses, as well as reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving the quality of life. Energy efficiency was born in the economic crisis of skyrocketing oil prices in the 1970s. And as we face another crisis from COVID-19, once again, energy efficiency can play a role in our economic recovery. Because with the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law, change is set upon us again as we need to educate or refresh ourselves on what this law mandates, and more importantly, what impact it may have on the industry and all our collective businesses. For Meralco, we have to understand that in the light of all these developments and changes, how do we continue to provide innovation while still keeping in mind and anticipating your needs so that together as partners, we all can be catalysts for sustainable progress in the years to come. To this end, amidst all the crises we experience, Meralco has and will always strive to be its customers' total end-to-end energy solutions partner. There is strong optimism in where the country is headed, plenty of growth ahead in this time of COVID-19, and what we do here today will only serve to sustain the momentum, if not improve on it. I hope all of you find today's webinar a productive session. May we all participate knowing that with these changes comes opportunities for learning and eventually growth. Maraming salamat po and God bless us all.
Thank you, Cecil. Moving along to the main event of the program, our next speaker will talk about the obligations of designated establishments under the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law, or the Republic Act 11285, and discuss how to accomplish the required energy consumption reports in time for the April 15 submission. Director Patrick T. Aquino's service in energy sector spans over a decade. Initially serving as part of the Office of the Secretary, he has served as Chief of Staff to the DOE Secretary and Director of the Information Technology Management Service and the Energy Policy and Planning Bureau. He has served as Director of the Energy Utilization Management Bureau from year 2014 to 2017 and 2019 to present. Director Aquino has shepherded the enactment of the Implementing Rules and Regulations for the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. He remains at the forefront of the implementation of EEC in the country. He is a Career Executive Service Officer 3, a distinction exclusive to civil servants who have exceptional performance and have undergone a stringent screening process which is finalized by a presidential appointment. Let us all welcome the Director for Energy Utilization Management Bureau of the Department of Energy, Attorney Patrick Aquino.
A refresher on the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act for corporate customers. I am Director Patrick Aquino of the Energy Utilization Management Bureau. The contents of my presentation will cover the following: energy service companies or ESCOs, the Philippine Energy Labeling Program or PELP, designated establishments, the concepts and its obligations, energy conserving design of buildings, and then of course, the fiscal incentives. Republic Act number 11285, or the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, was approved and signed by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte on April 12, 2019. 2 weeks from publication, it became effective on May 22, 2019. The EEC Act, as it is known, institutionalizes energy efficiency and conservation, enhances the efficient use of energy, and grants incentives to energy efficiency and conservation projects. On energy service companies or ESCOs. These are our partners in compliance with the EEC Act, as they offer multi-technology services and goods towards designing, developing energy efficiency projects, delivering and guaranteeing energy savings, and ensuring cost-effective and optimal performance. The governing rules for energy service companies or ESCOs is Department Circular number DC 2020-09-0018, which covers the guidelines, rules, and procedures in the administration, classification, and certification of ESCOs. The scope of DC number 2020-09-0018 establishes the guidelines, rules, and procedures in the administration, classification, and certification of ESCOs, with the overarching goal of enhancing professionalism in the service, credibility, as well as quality of service. There are 2 classifications for ESCOs. A registered ESCO is one that seeks accreditation for professional services to the DOE for the first time and meets the minimum requirements on the legal and technical capacity. The certificate of registered ESCO is valid for 3 years. So a registered ESCO is the entry level for energy service companies. On the other hand, a certified ESCO is, in addition to meeting the requirements on the legal and technical capacity, has also a proven performance or results-based project savings experience with proven customer satisfaction. The validity of the certificate for a certified ESCO is for 5 years. As of November 24, 2020, these are the lists of the existing registered and certified ESCOs with the Department of Energy. In terms of what we're seeing as the role of what ESCOs can play in the Philippines from 2017 to 2040, based on the observation and based on the requirements, we're seeing that with accelerated energy efficiency capital flows, either through ESCO performance contracts, PPP transactions, joint venture agreements, government large-scale retrofit programs, and other innovative solutions, we can see a potential mobilization of around 8 trillion pesos if we do the business as usual. That EE capital is mobilized through self-financing, debt financing, or lease finance, and other in-house modalities. We are just looking at around 4 trillion pesos in terms of capital requirements. These are all based on projected balance sheet for the host or end user for the energy efficiency projects. Proceeding now to the Philippine Energy Labeling Program, or PELP. It intends to encourage the practice of energy efficiency and conservation as a way of life through the promotion and use of energy efficient products. It also likewise seeks to transform the market by regulating energy consuming products, or ECPs. There are two issuances on the matter. The first one is Department Circular DC 2020-06-0015, which prescribes the guidelines for the Philippine Energy Labeling Program for compliance of importers, manufacturers, distributors, and dealers of electrical appliances and other energy-consuming products. The second circular is Department Circular DC 2020-06-0016, which prescribes the minimum energy performance for products, MEPP, for the covered products of the PELP, again for compliance of importers, manufacturers, distributors, dealers, and retailers of the energy consuming products. The objectives of the PELP is really on empowering consumers in their choice for energy efficient products at the point of sale, to realize energy savings and reduction in energy consumption or bills through the use of these energy efficient products, and of course the overall goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. For the MEPP, it is to eliminate the entry and sale of inefficient and substandard products in the local market. So again, in terms of overview, it covers importers, manufacturers, distributors, and dealers of these energy-consuming products. The initial list of PELP covered products include room air conditioning units, refrigeration units, appliances on televisions, as well as lighting products. Now to the meat of what you are here for on the concept of designated establishments. This refers to you, our private entity partners, either in the commercial, industrial, transport, power, and other sectors which we may later identify as energy-intensive industries. These are all again based on annual energy consumption, which is a combination of both fuel and electricity. There are three types. One is other designated establishments, or those that consumed 100,000 kilowatt hours but less than 500,000 kilowatt hours. Second will be your type 1 designated establishments, those in excess of 500,000 kilowatt hours but less than 4 million kilowatt hours. And the third is your type 2 designated establishments, or those in excess of 4 million kilowatt hours. These are governed by Memorandum Circular number MC 2020-05-001, which directed all designated establishments under the commercial, industrial, and transport sectors to submit, among others, energy consumption reports. In terms of requirements, other designated establishments are required to submit an annual energy efficiency and conservation report contained as EEC Form 3 on the aforementioned Memorandum Circular, as well as annual energy utilization report EEC Form 4, again on the same Memorandum Circular. For Type 1 designated establishments, these are the highlights of what they are obligated to comply with. One is on the employment of an Energy Conservation Officer, or ECO. The ECO would have at least 2 years continuous hands-on experience in the installation, operation, and maintenance of energy-consuming machines and equipment in the very same or similar Type 1 designated establishment. They are also again required to submit the annual energy efficiency and conservation report and annual energy utilization report forms EEC Forms 3 and 4 contained in the aforementioned Memorandum Circular. For Type 2 designated establishments, they are required to employ an energy manager who is a graduate of a 4-year course or equivalent, preferably engineering, with at least 3 years continuous hands-on experience in the maintenance, installation, operation of energy-consuming machine and equipment, again in Type 2 designated establishments. Likewise, they are to submit the annual energy efficiency and conservation report and annual energy utilization report forms EEC Forms 3 and EEC Forms 4 of the said Memorandum Circular. Now proceeding now to another topic contained in the law that we are pushing for. This would be your energy conserving design for buildings. Why the energy conserving design? Because what we're seeing is that in terms of building energy consumption, 56% represents the cooling requirements of a facility, lighting represents 18%, 16% would be your office equipment, and the remainder will be other office equipment. The energy conserving design of buildings really encourages and promotes the energy conserving design of buildings, as well as services to reduce the use of energy with due regard to the cost effectiveness, building function, comfort, health, safety, and productivity of the occupants. Electrical loads of at least 112.5 kVA or with at least 10,000 square meters total gross floor area are covered by these guidelines. Key highlights of the guidelines include a section or provisions for building envelope, electrical systems, and mechanical systems. We are of the view that energy efficient buildings will boost demand for energy efficient materials and technologies to help meet the requirements of the guidelines. It's also an opportunity for services such as those offered by the ESCO to come in and assist in meeting these requirements. The overview of the guidelines on energy conserving design of buildings would cover the building envelope, again provisions on air conditioning and ventilating systems, steam and hot water systems. That would be on your mechanical side. For lighting, electric motor, electric power and distribution, and renewable energy systems and equipment, those will be on the electrical side. Now for fiscal incentives. This is the last slide. The endorsement of energy efficiency projects to the Board of Investments for the availment of fiscal incentives. The energy efficiency projects are those designed to reduce the energy consumption or cost by any improvement, repair, alteration, or betterment of any building or facility or any equipment, fixture, or furnishing to be added to or used in any building, facility, or vehicle, including the manufacturing and provision of services related thereto. In terms of processing time from project application to DOE endorsement to the Board of Investment, it will take a total of 20 days. The primary evaluation criteria would have to meet at least 15% savings threshold measured at project boundary in order for the suggested rates of income tax holiday availment. Those that meet the 15 to 20% energy savings at project boundary would be entitled to the minimum 15% ITH. Those that are in excess of 20% and up to 25% will get a little bit higher at 75%, and those exceeding 25% of energy savings counted from project boundary will be entitled to 100% ITH. The direction is the more energy savings generated, the more ITH provided. All registered EEC projects, particularly those that meet or exceed 25%, may likewise be considered for pioneer incentives under the EO 226. And why are we talking about energy efficiency? Because of the projected increase in our total power generation requirements based on the APEC energy demand and supply outlook. Looking at an increase of 4.2% during this period, from the 2010 level, we are looking at around from 67 terawatts to 187 terawatt hours through 2035. If we were to achieve 15% energy savings across all sectors, the predicted maximum potential savings by next year is 17.26 terawatt hours and 28.05 terawatt hours by 2035. These are based on the assumption of around 10 peso per kilowatt hour, roughly translating to 172.6 billion pesos in savings projected if we were to accomplish this in 2021, all the way up to 280.5 billion savings by 2035. Thank you for your kind attention. The team is here for any of your clarifications. If the module is not enough for you and you still have questions afterwards, please feel free to get in touch with our email accounts, our social media accounts, the website, and of course, you can also call us for more information and clarification. Again, thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Patrick. Again, feel free to type your questions or comments by clicking on the Ask a Question button found below. We encourage everyone to identify yourselves so we can acknowledge you properly in our Q&A portion later. Now here to introduce MServe and to share with us how our energy experts can help you comply with EE and C laws requirements. Let us all welcome MServe Vice President and Head of Energy Efficiency Group, Ms. Cecil Marvilla.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. And we're here to talk to you about your readiness for the EE&C law. So if we have our presentation. Okay. What are the common facility and equipment concerns of businesses in the Philippines today? We will see that businesses are facing multiple challenges in the built environment. We have underutilized facility equipment due to design, high energy consumption, manual monitoring of facilities, and poorly maintained facilities. So let me go through each one in detail. From our friends in Meralco, we found out that 3 out of 4 businesses have underutilized electrical facilities. Imagine they're only operating at 70% efficiency. So we have an opportunity here to improve on efficiency levels and save on CapEx due to design. The next is high energy consumption. As Patrick Aquino, Director Aquino said, the commercial and industrial sector are the biggest consumers of electricity. With 27 and 24% of the total country consumption for electricity. We also see in businesses now, next slide please, that we don't really monitor in an automatic basis, an automated basis, our electricity consumption. There's actually a potential savings that's lost when we don't automate at 18% for offices, retail stores at 14%, hotels at 8%, and hospitals at 14%. We also see, because we also offer emergency services, that a lot of facilities are poorly maintained. We don't see the value of maintaining our facilities on a regular basis. Let's remember that dependability can be engineered and built into our equipment when we buy it, but it's actually maintenance that keeps it that way. So the new law has been signed and we are going to submit our first submission on April 2021. So guys, for all of your companies and for all of your designated establishments, are you ready? Are we ready to actually fill out Forms 3 and Forms 4 for submission by April 2021? The E&C Act requires us to actually fulfill our obligations, enforce management, and actually also, aside from savings, provide incentives so we can actually decide to spend on that CapEx to improve efficiency. Next slide, please. And as I said, are we ready? Do you have all the components that you need to fill out the form and comply with the E&C law? Do you have energy managers already and energy conservation officers? Do you have your energy management framework based on either ISO 50001 or a similar framework? Do you have a regular monitoring and compliance audit already? Are you ready with your 5-year consumption reports? And have you identified projects that will help you achieve energy efficiency? If not, then we at MServe, as part of One Meralco, can help you with energy efficiency services. We've classified our services under 3 categories: audit and advisory, design and build for corrective action, and energy management to help you sustain your savings. Let me go through this in detail. For audit and advisory, we can help you with your energy audit to spot opportunities for savings. We will take a look at your existing design, your existing parameters, and let you know where the opportunities lie. If you need financing for your CapEx to implement your energy efficiency project, we can help you with an investment grade audit, which is a more thorough audit that will be submitted to financing institutions, either banks or other financing institutions that will help you finance your projects. Now, if the first 2 are mainly focused on mechanical and lighting saving opportunities, the 3rd audit is an electrical audit combined with an energy efficiency audit. So we will help you determine the safety and reliability of your facility. So in all of our audits, you will see in the next slide, your energy baseline, equipment system summary, your consumption trends, your energy, and next slide, your equipment condition. We will show you what the condition is, power factor, harmonics, and energy management opportunities. Now, having told you where the opportunities lie, then we will present to you options for you to correct or improve your energy efficiency. So it can be an electrical solution, a mechanical solution, as Director Aquino said. About 74% is consumed by HVAC, cooling, and lighting. So we focus on both HVAC and lighting under mechanical. And then we add automation to help you tweak that last 10 to 14% to increase your efficiency. So let's go through each one quickly. On the next slide, we have a host of electrical solutions. We can do a high efficiency motors, sag correctors, cap banks, and harmonic filters. For mechanical, we can do, on the next slide, we have our mechanical solutions. We are a distributor for the leading magnetic chiller, smart chillers. We've installed quite a few in our clients' facilities. They have delivered above committed savings percentages. And they have multiple compressors that allow you to stay online and keep cooling your facilities even if one compressor fails. We also can deliver the whole HVAC system from AHU's, FCU's, the pumps. We can have high efficiency pumps, cooling towers, and other HVAC components. We can also convert your smaller aircon units into inverters and look at opportunities to convert waste heat to generate power. On lighting, you saw a video of our smart streetlights in Palawan earlier. We can also do LED lighting retrofits for your buildings and add LED streetlights, you saw that. And of course, add a bit of technology. We can have lighting systems either for buildings or for streetlights. And all of this can be connected to your BMS if you have one in your facility. Now, for all of these, we can add on the next slide a little bit of automation. So we have the MServe Energy Management System, or EMS. This is a cloud-based platform that you can deploy at a very cost-efficient rate to monitor, to visualize your data, to monitor your energy consumption, and to actually automate any alerts that you may encounter in your facility. You can also, if you want to automate just your chiller plant, we can do a chiller management system as well. Or if you want to do just lighting, we can also have a lighting management system as a standalone deployment. But all of this will be integrated depending on the requirement of the client. So on the next slide, let me show you some screenshots of the cloud-based platform developed for MServe. This can give you real-time data on consumption and equipment status. It can help you manage and analyze data for proper action and intervention. You will receive automatic alarm, which you can configure. If you want the owner to be alerted, that can be arranged. If you want just the engineer to be alerted, that is also possible. And you can have a centralized monitoring for all of your different subsystems within your facility. Plus, if you already have a BMS, we can also integrate with your existing BMS and help you analyze your data. So this reduces manpower. Your engineers or your energy managers don't have to manually record all of your consumption data. All of this will be automated, and reports can be easily generated using your desired format. So some more screenshots on the next slide. There are over 1,000 widgets that you can configure. So you see only what you want to see and track the parameter that you want to track. So on the next slide, we've also pre-prepared configurations for easy, if you don't know what you need, we have configured, depending on your size, the most desirable combination of sensors and CTs so that you can monitor the parameters that you need to monitor. So it can be configured for a small store, an office, of course, an electrical plant room, or just your chiller plant room, where 56% of your power is consumed. But of course, these are just pre-prepared kits or packages. We can always customize based on your specific needs. So let's go. You've done your audit, you've done your retrofit. Now you need to sustain all of that savings, and you need to monitor on a yearly basis because you need to submit the forms 3 and 4 on an annual basis. And you also need an audit every 3 years. So we've prepared energy management services, which we will describe in the next slide. So the cloud-based platform can be combined with a regular preventive maintenance. And if you want more, on the next level, we can add managed services, retainer services. If you just need help filling out forms 3 and 4, we can help you with that and use the platform to make the process easier. If you need another level of assistance, we can deploy people to manage your facility and do preventive maintenance and help you operate your system so that your efficiency targets are met year on year. Now, if you need financing, MServe is a certified ESCO. You saw us on the list of Director Aquino at number 6. We've been an ESCO for quite some time, and we're proud to say that we were given a Class A status by the DOE. So we can help you fund your project either via banks or either via financing through MServe or a third-party off-balance sheet financial company. So all of these services, on the next slide, we will show you the full, the level of engagement for each kind of service that you want to engage us in. So the full ESCO contains all of the different services that I talked about. And we, on top of that, we guarantee the savings that we declare at the beginning of the engagement. So you can call MServe and we can actually help you achieve actual results. So let me go through some clients that we've helped in the past to show you the level of savings that they have actually achieved. For NLEX, we did a retrofit of their street lights and replaced everything with LED lighting and added O&M. They enjoyed annual savings of 14 million. Of course, in Meralco, we did an audit of their HVAC and lighting for the whole Meralco network. They enjoy now an annual savings of 60 million. For one of the buildings within MOC, or the Meralco compound, we retrofit the chiller. We upgraded it into a magnetic chiller and added a CMS. That resulted in 7.2 million in savings per year, or a 60% reduction. For one of our biggest clients, MDC, the construction arm of Ayala, we, for Citygate, this is the mixed-use development at the end of Ayala Avenue. We value engineered their design and produced up to 20% reduction just by right-sizing their facility. Another happy client is Insular Life Corporate Center in Alabang. We upgraded their chiller and added a CMS and operated and maintained their facility. And to date, they have a reduction in power of about 60%, and that's around 2 million per month. Another client is Robinson's Malls. We do maintenance for all of their 41 malls, and we supplied and delivered oil-free magnetic chillers as well, delivering 1.1 million in monthly savings for these 10 sites. We also did CMS for Robinson's Place Magnolia, resulting in a 15% reduction in power consumption. Another industrial client is Republic Cement. We looked at their power factor and did a power quality audit, and this resulted in 6.5 million per year. So all of these clients can be just like you. If you call us soon, you can call your relationship manager, or you can call MServe directly, and we can actually take you through the services that you can avail of to achieve your energy efficiency goals. So thank you. Thank you for your time this morning, and I think we will answer some questions after this presentation. Thank you. Morning.
Thank you, Cecil. At this point, we will now proceed with the Q&A portion. Joining us on the panel is the Assistant Vice President and Head of the Public Sector Relationship Management Group of Meralco. A warm hello to Ms. Jer Suludu. We will also be joined by our guest speaker earlier, Ms. Cecil of MServe and Sir Patrick of DOE. Good morning, sirs and moms. Thank you for joining us today. I shall now direct the comments and questions of our viewers. Let me go through the questions first in our Q&A portion. Okay, let me just remind everyone that we will provide copy of these slides upon answering our short survey later. So for those who are asking already for the copy of the presentation, we will send these presentations through a link and after answering the survey. Okay, the first question is from Mr. Enteng. As per IRR, we need to submit an annual energy consumption report and annual energy conservation report to the DOE by the 15th of April of every year. Is there a particular format or specific information needed to be included on the report? Do we have Director Patrick, Attorney Patrick on the floor already? All right. I think we still have some technical glitches. We'll go through. Ms. Cecil, would you like to address
Yes,
the?
the
All
DOE,
right.
yes, the DOE provided the format of the report already. And I think you can see it on their website, and you can submit it via a Google Drive, I think. That's what they said in the orientation. So the form is ready. If you need it, we also have it. We can email it to you directly.
All right. Another question from anonymous audience. For the investment grade audit, can the duration be shortened in time for the April 2021 deadline? I think this can be best addressed by Ms. Cecil again of MServe.
Yes, the typical duration is about 30 days. So we cover your normal cycle. So you still have time, and call us now so we can start already.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Okay, I think we have another question, this time regarding energy roadmap. Given the energy roadmap, may we know what Meralco sourcing strategy is? I think this is for our Meralco guest panelists, Ms. Jer Solidum.
Hi, hello. What is our energy sourcing strategy? So within the next 5 to 7 years, our MGen subsidiary has tapped its own subsidiary called MGreen to avail of what we call renewable energy or green energy. So about 1,000 to 2,000 megawatts of renewable energy projects will be embarked on 5 to 7 years. But also we have what we call energy transition. So this is not just about energy efficiency, but also about energy sustainability or being environmental friendly. So in terms of our sourcing strategy being energy efficient, of course, we still have some coal-powered plants like our son Buenaventura, but these will be very efficient in terms of what in acronym HELE, high efficient and low emission. So of course, our distribution system, we also want that to be continually efficient, reliable, with good quality, and resilient also. So that's as far as the Meralco side is concerned. We also like to say that aside from the MGreen renewable projects, Meralco would really seriously want to get into transitioning into renewables. No? So we will also be entering into power supply agreements with renewable energy suppliers. So in the next starting this year, actually, we're already trying to secure these PSAs or power supply agreements of up to 2,000 megawatts of renewable energy. So I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Jer, for your enlightenment on that question. We have another question from Mr. Roberto Tan of Toshiba. We are waiting for the update on the IRR. Is it already approved and published? If yes, please provide copy. If not yet, when is the target date? Now, since DOE is not yet present in this Q&A portion due to some technical issues, may we ask our guest panelists again from MSERV, Ms. Cecil, to address this concern?
May I have the question again, please, Ren?
The question is, we are waiting for the update on the IRR. Is it already approved and published?
Yes, it has already been approved, and I know we have a copy with our regulatory team. If we can get your email, we will send it to you directly.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Another question from Ms. Badet Manasan of Anson Center. Is the 500,000 kilowatt the average of an annual consumption? This is for, I think Ms. Cecil again can address this question.
I think that's the threshold. If you reach that, then you fall within the threshold. So they've designed it so that you can classify yourself in any one of the three, either type 1, type 2, or other. So if you reach below the threshold, then you belong to that category.
Ms. Cecil, this is an average, right? Not a summation of the annual consumption.
This is your annual.
Annual consumption, total consumption.
Total consumption.
Okay. Ms. Badet, to clarify, this is not an average, but a total consumption of your annual kilowatt hour. A second question from Sir Roberto Tan of Toshiba. About certification of energy manager, was it settled who will provide the certification? Is training required before certification? Ms. Cecil, may we ask you again to address this question?
They haven't finalized the modules yet with CHED and TESDA. So for this year, I think they're just calling it Energy Manager and Energy Conservation Officer because certification is not yet available. So the qualifications were accurately described by Director Aquino. You just need experience, a degree, and you need to be organic in the company that you will sign for.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cecil, again. Okay. Another question from Sir Enteng. Are there any certified energy auditor or an ESCO to do an energy audit report accredited by DOE? How do we get in touch with them? Ms. Cecil again?
Yes, MSERV is a certified ESCO. You can call us anytime. Our website is mserv.com.ph, or you can call your relationship manager. We can help you through the process.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cecil. So I suggest that you get in touch, Sir Enteng, with your relationship manager so we can guide you through and patch meeting with MSERV. From an anonymous audience, another question for Type 2 DEs. Are ESCOs also required along with EMs? So I think Ms. Cecil.
Yes. ESCOs are not required, but to show and validate your savings or apply for incentives, it needs to go through an ESCO. You need an ESCO to implement so that we can apply for the incentives.
Okay. From Ms. Leo Tire of Tire Manufacturing Corporation, sorry for that. Can an REE be an energy manager, or the EM should be continuous hands-on experience? Ms. Cecil again?
Yes, any REE is most welcome. It assures us of capability and experience, but I think based on the DOE guideline, you also need to show hands-on experience in operating any equipment for the required number of years. But of course, REEs are most welcome.
Sorry for the early. I thought Sir Leo is the name. It's Leo Tire Manufacturing pala. Sorry for that. Okay. Another question is from Engineer Neil Lachica. If we have multiple establishments, is it allowed to just assign one ECO or EM instead of placing one per establishment? Ms. Cecil again?
Here I might need the help of DOE. Based on our understanding, one building is one designated establishment. But you can, for Meralco, we will aggregate and submit one report. But in the report, we will show the consumption per building.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. As of now, DOE representatives, Attorney Patrick can still join us due to some technical issues in their end. So we'll be addressing your questions through our MServe representative, Ms. Cecil. Thank you for extending your knowledge and your experience in this topic. We also have Ms. Jer from Meralco. Should you have any question regarding Meralco and its initiatives for energy efficiency? Do you have more questions? Okay, we have another one from Mr. Mark de la Cruz. For property owners, in our computation of annual energy consumption, do we include the consumption of our tenants, such as plug loads, lighting, backup, AC, or just common area loads? May we ask Ms. Cecil to address this question again?
It will include loads of your tenants. So it's the total building load for your company or for your building. There might be some exceptions for small tenants that they can submit separately. But if you own the building and rent it out to tenants, based on our understanding, you have to report total consumption.
From Mr. Arca, I am from Fuji Industries, Manila Corporation. We have 3 plants in 3 separate locations. 2 plants are company owned and 1 plant is on a leased building. Are we going to prepare the report as one or separate per plant? For the rented building, are we the one to submit the report or the owner should? Let me ask again Ms. Cecil to address this question of Mr. Arca.
Mr. Arca, let me discuss it with DOE. For Meralco, we were advised to submit the report as one, although we own all of the buildings where we are in. So we submit as Meralco, but divided into several buildings within the Meralco group. So that can apply to you. You may submit your consolidated annual report, but broken down into buildings within the report. If it's not owned by you, I think you will still report your consumption if you are the heaviest user within that building, or if you occupy it by yourself.
Thanks, Ms. Cecil. Okay, another question for ECO assignment. 1 ECO per building only is allowed, even the owned buildings are in the same area. May we ask, okay, for this question, we have another panelist joining us, Mr. Mark DeLumen. He will try to answer in behalf of DOE. Sir Mark?
Hello. Yes, for the ECO, there's a threshold for the energy consumption of an establishment that an ECO will be responsible for the submission of those reports. And these are energy consumption of 500, an equivalent of 500 kilowatt hours to 4 million kilowatt hours annual energy consumption of an establishment.
Sir Mark, there's another question regarding ECO.
Yes.
Does ECO has to attend seminars?
Yes, there's a forthcoming certification to be issued by the Department of Energy through a separate department circular, which will govern the certification of not just ECO, but certified energy managers.
All right. Thank you, Sir Mark. A question from Sir June. Can this tax incentive be retroactively applied to energy efficient machines and equipment we've already installed? Sir Mark, can we get you on the floor again?
Okay, for that, I will have to get back to you on that because there's forthcoming separate circular on incentives for energy efficiency investments. So for retroactive investments, we will await whether indeed it's part of the incentives package offered because all these will have to be approved by the Board of Investments.
Thank you, Sir Mark. Sir Mark Delumen, by the way, is from our Regulatory Relations Office in Meralco. They work directly in compliance to DOE and ERC. Okay, we have another question from TIP, Mr. Jonathan Pacana. Are guidelines for online registration of DEs already released? This is for Section 64 of IRR. May we ask Sir Mark again?
Yes. What's the question again? Section 64 of the...
Yes. Are the guidance for online registration has been released already?
There's Memorandum Circular issued MC 2020-05-0001, which governs the submission by designated establishments of energy consumption reports. And in that circular, it speaks of online submission. For the meantime, the DOE has provided a Google Forms link for designated establishments to upload all the reports. So, but eventually the DOE is evolving an online platform more permanent than the Google Forms that they, for the meantime, have provided. And then there are the circular also provided annexes that includes formulas for designated establishments, specifically the energy managers or the energy consumption conservation officers to use in computing for the energy consumption report per building.
Salamat po, Sir Mark. Another question from Jay. For April 2021 submission, coverage nito ay March 2020 to April 2021 po, di ba? So yung previous year from 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 ay hindi na po ba kailangan? Sir Mark again,
yes.
Can we ask?
The DOE to be able to establish a baseline for determining the minimum energy performance of a particular industry needed to baseline for them to be able to come up with such baseline. They needed historical energy consumption. So in the circular, designated establishments are required to submit a 5-year energy consumption report. So originally kasi the deadline was set before the pandemic happened, April 15 of this year. But because of what happened, they extended it to next year. So the submission would cover from years 2016 to 2020. So that's the minimum historical submission that you have to submit. But considering that 2020 is an abnormal year, the DOE will look into the 4-year submission. Tama ba, Cecil? Yung 4 years prior to 2020. That will be the initial baseline that they'll use.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sir Mark. And another question. This one is for MServe. Is the AC system, particularly the chillers, overall plant you are providing compliant to Platinum rating for Green Mark Singapore certification? Ms. Cecil, this one's for you, please.
Yes, depending on what certification you're going after, there are particular design criteria for that. And we have all the elements you need to help with any certification that you're going for. Whether it's a LEED or a Green Mark, we can discuss that.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cecil. For our anonymous guest, you may get in touch with your relationship manager for your requirement regarding AC system. Another anonymous question, as mentioned earlier, designated establishments would be required to undergo energy audits every 3 years, and that DEs shall provide a copy of the reports to DOE. When is the timeline for this? Are the facilities required to engage a third-party auditor or ESCO for the said energy audit by next year, or on a latter year that would be soon be advised? May we ask Sir Mark or Ms. Cecil to address this question, please?
Okay, Ms. Cecil, I can answer the question. So the energy audit starts from upon effectivity of the law, 3 years from effectivity. So, but since the deadline was extended by a year, so 2021 yung from the time that you start submitting your energy consumption reports and energy efficiency and conservation reports. 3 years moving forward, you're supposed to already employ an energy auditor for your energy audit report to DOE. So the designated establishment can engage energy auditors, the likes of MServe and the other ESCOs, to perform those tasks for the establishments. Thank you.
Salamat, Sir Mark. We have another question for MServe. Which brand chillers are most energy efficient? Let me ask Ms. Cecil to address this question, please.
Of course, I will promote the ones that we carry. Smart chillers from Australia are very efficient. They've proven to be very efficient for our clients. Those are the ones that have multiple compressors and have maglev in their system, so that there's no friction and you don't need oil anymore. We also carry LG magnetic chillers, and I don't want to malign the other brands, but we are very happy with those 2 brands that we carry.
Salamat, Ms. Cecil. Salamat po, Ms. Cecil. Okay, another anonymous question. What are the benefits after achieving the savings? Is there any circular from DOE? I think Sir Mark can give us a refresher for this question.
Well, upon in the declaration of policy of the law, it envisions total energy efficiency for the enterprise in particular. The benefit would be improved productivity, cost savings, energy savings, and lower operating costs. So it depends on per industry, per company, what those metrics are in terms of realization of energy savings, lower operating costs, and improved productivity. So it really depends per industry, and that the reason why the DOE is requiring designated establishments to submit historical energy consumption is to determine industry-specific minimum energy performance, and then from there they will be setting MEPs specific to a particular industry. Thank you.
Salamat ulit, Sir Mark. Another question is for MServe. What is the kilowatt hour per TR of magnetic chiller? TR or consumption?
It really depends on the design, but efficiency levels are within ASHRAE metrics, and we'll be glad to explain those to you if we sit down for a meeting. So let us know if you've identified yourself. Let your RM know so we can discuss this in greater detail.
Salamat, Ms. Cecil. From Mr. John Gundran, VP for Building Management of Robinson's Land Corporations. We have multiple office buildings nationwide. Can we just have one EM for all those buildings? May we ask Sir Mark to address this question, please, for Sir John?
Thanks, Ren. It's been a common theme during the public consultation on the IRR of the energy efficiency law, and unfortunately, the DOE is not here to give a categorical answer. But based on what we gather from those public consultations, the question really is that one that single energy manager handle the reportorial requirements of all, for example, a mall? For example, SM has multiple malls. Given the magnitude of the energy consumption per mall and how tedious it is to prepare reports per particular building, can that one single energy manager handle that? So they're not in the IRR, it doesn't specify whether it's really the only they're limiting it to one energy manager per building, but their concern is that the capacity of that energy manager handling the reportorial requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Mark. Another question, what are the penalties? This is for Sir Mark again. What are the penalties for not reporting? So,
okay.
Kanina incentive, ngayon po penalties naman.
Yeah, in terms of the penalty, the penal provision of the RA 11285 is unique in the sense that they will give they provide due process and a lot of leeway for the reporting entity, meaning if uh, if you fail to submit a report, the DOE will call your attention and ask you why you weren't able to submit it. You will be given a chance to submit your explanation, okay, and then if you're still unable to make an explanation that's acceptable to them, then you'll be given a citation. Parang on the second, parang they'll probably notify you and publish those who are unable to comply with the law, and then that's the only time that they impose fines and penalties, no, specific fines. So they'll be given parang lots of leeway for you to be able to submit your report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Mark. So since until now, DOE representatives, Attorney Patrick, and his team is not able to join us during the Q&A. We are trying our best to answer these questions. Nevertheless, we have noted all your questions already. So in case DOE has more inputs on your questions, we will be posting this as FAQs. Aside from the recording of our webinar. So we'll get in touch with you through your relationship manager so we can give you more insights regarding the Q&A portion. So we are down to a few more questions here. So let me ask Sir Mark again for this question from Mr. Redan Polo. May we ask where we can download the official form EEC 3 and 4?
It's in the Department of Energy website. You search the department, the issuances. Under the issuances tab, there's a breakdown of all the promulgated department circulars, and then look down on the search for the Memorandum Circular MC 2020-05-0001. The MC has annexes, and those annexes are your forms, depending on your industry, whether you're industrial, commercial, or transport. In the case of commercial, you will be accomplishing EEC form 4 for A for commercial. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Sir Mark. From Mr. Paul Batangoso of RLC, are the DEs required to hire the services of ESCOs? I think Ms. Cecil will be able to give us an insight for this.
Yes, you can employ an ESCO to help you through the process and do the audits for you. But the EC, the energy manager or the energy conservation officer should be organic within your company, the one who signs all the forms.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Another question from Mr. Trey de la Cruz. Is there any material that can guide us on answering the EEC forms correctly? Sir Mark or Ms. Cecil, please.
Thanks for the question. The DOE has prepared a deck explaining each and every forms of the. Hello.
Go ahead, Sir Mark.
Every reports that needed to be accomplished. So, and even Meralco can probably share what we also what was presented to the likes of us as because Meralco is also a designated establishment. So the DOE during the public consultation shared their materials on how to prepare reports. Thank you.
Salamat, Sir Mark. Including this, we will add this to our frequently asked questions so we can guide you through the EEC forms. We're down to our last two questions for the day. So another question from anonymous audience. Is there a training requirement to be a SECO or CEM? Is there a list of accredited training agency? Sir Mark?
My understanding is that the TESDA is the Department of Energy is coordinating with TESDA for coming up with the technical training regulations for certifying energy conservation officers and energy managers. For the meantime, according to the law, designated establishments for the meantime can designate an energy manager or energy conservation officer. So hindi pa certified. That can that's allowed for 3 years until such time that the DOE comes up with separate issuance on the certification of the energy managers and energy conservation officers. Thank you.
Salamat, Sir Mark. I think this one, our last question, para ulit sa iyo to, Sir Mark. For designated establishments, do we need to employ ECO or EM, or can we just appoint someone within our organization?
Yeah, I understand Ma'am Cecil replied to this similar question kanina. Pwede. Organic can be appointed or designated as an energy manager or energy conservation officer. It could be based on our conversation with other businesses, those already appointed as pollution control officers or safety and environment officers, parang additional tasks sa kanila ito becoming energy manager and energy conservation. So long as they undertake the training to be able to be competent enough to accomplish those forms and then eventually be certified in accordance with the circular to be promulgated by DOE, then that's fine. So the government doesn't want our establishments, the private sector, to spend more in terms of hiring an external expert to become an energy manager or energy conservation officer. So pwede na maging organic siya. Na organic yung EM or ECO.
Salamat, Sir Mark. Okay, so it has been a very enlightening Q&A segment. Unfortunately, DOE's representative, Attorney Patrick, wasn't able to join us, but definitely we will send them the questions you've asked during the Q&A, and we'll get their feedback so that we can give you their concise answers for your inquiries and comments. So thank you to our panelists, especially Sir Mark for saving us, for saving the questions directed to DOE. Ms. Cecil for extending your knowledge to us from MServe. Thank you everyone for attending our webinar and for all your questions. If you have further questions or concerns, we encourage you to contact us through your relationship managers so we can be of help. So please visit our website at www.corporatepartners.meralco.com.ph. Thank you again, and we hope to see you soon in future meetings and webinars. We hope to do this more often. That is why we are posting the link to our survey form at the Q&A panel. Please share with us your thoughts on how best we can gain more useful information and tips from Meralco Corporate Partners. I am Catherine, your host for today. Good afternoon and stay safe, everyone.